Hi, this is Leo Schumann. Welcome to our module on customizing content and editing layout. So what we're going to be looking at are various approaches to control what we see where on the screen during the editing and the display of our individual content nodes. So initially we're going to control the field sequence that we see on the edit forms and in the default display. And then we're going to look a little bit more at the notion of view modes and how we can customize our view modes for a different selection and sequence of fields when the content is being viewed in different states. We're also then going to introduce the Display Suite module, which gives us much more control over the selection and layout of fields in different view modes, as well as in our edit forms. The sequence of fields that we see on edit forms is determined by the sequence of fields as they appear on the Manage Fields tab, which we've looked at several times now. It's where we would add and customize new fields. The literal sequence that we see here matches the sequence that we see on edit forms. Similarly, when we're displaying content, the sequence of fields that we see for each view mode, and we're going to talk further about view modes in the next lesson, but the sequence that we see for each view mode, including the default view mode, is controlled by the sequence of fields on the Manage Display tab, which we've not looked at yet, but we'll begin to look at here. Let's jump in and take a look at how this works with our existing content. In our classic books site, I'm going to go and edit our Siddhartha node. I'll use the edit link here in the upper right hand corner. And this takes me through to the edit form for this particular node. And we'll see that the sequence of fields, book name and description, followed by book cover with its widget as we've configured it, author name and its widget, format, and genre, all appear in the order in which we added them to our content type. So let's go modify this. I'm going to go to Structure, Content Types, and Manage Fields for my book. And we see the same sequence here on the Manage Fields tab that we just saw in our form. So I'm going to modify this by clicking and dragging the genre field up immediately below the book name field. And then I will click to save this configuration, then go back out to edit the Siddhartha node once again, recalling I could get to my edit form in a number of different ways, but I'll use this one. So I'll click through to edit again, and as you might expect, we now see the genre field appearing immediately below the book name field. However, if I go to view the content, which I could do here from this View tab, notice that genre is still the last field in the sequence. And this is because the edit sequence and the display sequence are controlled separately. I'm going to go back to my structure page, go to content types, but instead of managing fields for my book content type, I'm going to manage display instead, which is the third tab that we've been seeing to the right of the Manage Fields. Now we're going to get back to this, but notice that I am on the default view mode here, or default page. There's also a teaser view mode or teaser view page here as well. But on the default display, my sequence is description, author name, book cover, format, and genre is last. However, if I click and make the same change here and move genre immediately below description and save this change, then when I go out to view my content, which in this case I'll do by just clicking through the title of Siddhartha from the main page, now I see that genre appears immediately below the description. Now, if you wanted finer grained layout than we are able to achieve here through resequencing fields, well, we'll look at some other options throughout this lesson. Ultimately, as we introduced early in the course, if you want truly granular control over positioning and layout, then you would customize the template layer or choose an alternate template. But that's beyond the scope of this foundation. However, let's move ahead with controlling layout and controlling view modes.